Hello, everyone, and welcome to Immigration Live with Lee. I'm your host, Attorney Lee Marvin. Um, so I wanted to show this first. I'll show this later on too. But this is the new webinar that we have coming up October 23rd at 12:30 p.m., which again is Eastern Standard Time or Detroit time. I'm going to do a webinar, um, and I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, but I just want to give you a little bit of a teaser right now. And then I also wanted to make sure, whoops, I got to turn that off. I want to make sure that I tell everyone, or ask everyone rather, to let me know where you're joining me from tonight. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is Eastern Standard Time, Detroit time, and I welcome you all every Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time um, to my live. My live is all about immigration questions, okay? So Immigration Live with Lee is another name for it, but I'm here every Monday to help people understand what's going on in the world of immigration and answer questions, okay? So today is October 14th, 2024. And I'm here with a very special session where I'm going to answer questions and I'm going to talk about this webinar that I have coming up in a week or so. Okay. So I invite everyone, of course, to put your comments and questions in the comment section, and I will answer your questions as they come up. So I've got a few questions that people asked me beforehand that I'm going to talk about, but please post your questions, okay? So we've got people joining us from Instagram, from Facebook, from YouTube. So welcome to everyone on those platforms, and post your questions and comments. And I like to begin this session every week with asking people to post where they're joining us from. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, as I already said. But I would like to see where other people are joining us from. We also have a lot of people from all over the world. Let us know where you're joining us from. I do have a question to ask, if I can ask a question. Absolutely. Um, Anyone who has a question, type your question in the comments, and I will answer the question as I see your questions posted. So again, post your questions so I can get to them. I usually tell people to ask their questions earlier on, because usually when I get toward the end of my half-hour slot, there's so many questions that I can't really get to them. Okay, so please ask your questions as soon as we have them, and I will get to them when I can. So, okay, here's a question. Um, okay, so our friend, where are you joining us from, friend? Okay, this is B Bar Barris. It's a hard screen name. Where are you joining us from? That would be nice to know. Not critical, of course. Okay, you're in the US. What state? What state are you joining us from? Um, okay, so you're originally from Turkey, but you're in the US right now. Okay, well, let me get to your question then. So, thank you for joining us. You're in the US. New York. Okay, excellent. So, same time zone as me. So, thank you for joining us. Okay. So, let me go up here and see your question. Your illegal entry in 2022, but now you're married to a U.S. citizen. My wife is a U.S. citizen. Can I get my green card without? Um, I'm assuming you're saying without having to leave the U.S. Is that probably what you're asking? I will assume that's what it is. Okay, so an illegal entry from Turkey, which means you probably came up through the border. So that is a tough question because a lot of weird things happened since. No, you're fine. Your English is great. Don't worry about it. You're cool. Um, a lot of weird things happened from 2022. So if you cross in the United States without authorization, there could be a number of different things going on in your case. Um, And that definitely has a massive impact on whether you can move forward with your green card inside the United States. Because if you were automatically scheduled for deportation hearings, proceedings because you entered without authorization, then you are definitely required to go through that process. You can still get petition, your wife can petition you, you can still move forward with your green card request. In most cases, that is an excellent way to defend a deportation. If you have a US citizen spouse who sponsored you, you are able to move forward with the green card request, usually in the court system. So, depending on what happened in the court when you were first brought into the court system, you might also have the option of requesting the green card through your spouse. Most people who come through the border, they were seeking asylum, and it kind of complicated things in the court system. But it is possible to talk to the judge and to move forward with your green card request in lieu of your asylum being deported. You can do that at the same time. You just have to talk to the judge about that. Okay. Um, okay. So I have another question. My husband filed for me and my children, but when our green card came, my last son was not out yet, is not jet out. So keep developing this, okay? So that's an incomplete thought and not really a question. I do want to get the rest of that information so that I can help you figure this out. So keep typing more information to give me more to go with, okay? um, in the meantime, I'm going to check over here with our friends um, on YouTube. So, okay, Elna, how are you today? Joining us from Montana, which is mountain time, I think. Mountain, right? So you're on the West Coast, you're in the mountain time, I believe. So just yesterday, I saw my case was updated that my card is being processed, my EAD, which is Employment Authorization Document. When should I expect it in the mail? My travel parole didn't update. Okay. Um, do you think I will get my EAD and my travel parole both? That's an excellent question. So, Elna, I'll say that your work authorization probably will be shaken loose and come to you soon. If they updated that just yesterday on your online profile, in my experience, maybe a week before you get that. Again, I don't know your service center. Basically, what happens is they approve these things, and then they have to send it to the processing center for the cards to produce the card. I don't know how long it takes to produce a card, but typically there's 1 to 2 weeks before you will get that in the mail. It usually is pretty quick though. Okay, so you are in the home stretch. As far as the travel, advanced parole, um, if you file that all at the same time, let's see, did you say that there was an update? Did they say anything, Elna, about your update for the travel, or do they only do the work permit as the update? Because again, they are very different processes that even though you file at the same time, they are processed by different groups of people. And typically speaking, they have somewhat different processing times. So it's like crystal ball time with the government, right? Sometimes it happens right away, other times it takes forever. And there's no real way of knowing it until it actually happens. Although, if your travel parole, in my experience, those have been approved pretty quickly. Okay. So I don't know when you actually file for these things, but typically speaking, in my experience, when I filed for my clients, I've gotten travel authorizations 3 weeks. Sometimes it's longer. It really depends on the processing center, though. So I hope that helps. I know it's not an absolute answer, but it gives you an idea. Okay. Um, okay. Let me real quick here. So, okay. So I got a question here again from Zeynep Duran. I'm a nurse from Turkey, adjusting my status from F1 to EB3. So F1 is a family-based process. EB3 is employment-based, okay? My priority date is April 2024. Do you think I will be able to get my work authorization this fiscal year, assuming I become current on Chart B? I do, because the fiscal year is a brand new year that it just started 14 days ago. So absolutely, this fiscal year, without a doubt, you're definitely going to be getting that approval, okay? If you mean the calendar year, that's a different question, okay? That's a very different question, but you said fiscal. So, yeah. So again, I will say as a reminder to people, so I don't do employment-based immigration anymore. I've focused on family-based. So Chart B for the employment-based process, I haven't done that in so long. I wouldn't try to give you information about that. But I will say that this fiscal year, I think there's a really good chance because fiscal year just started and we've got better part of 12 months left. So the chances are pretty good. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, no problem. No misunderstanding at all. Yeah, no, this stuff is confusing as HELL, right? Um, but yeah, I do mostly, well, exclusively family based. So I'm sorry that I couldn't answer that question for you. Um, so hopefully you can figure out some of that information. um, you can always call immigration, and if you go to my channel, which you're already on my YouTube channel, if you go on there and do a search for reaching out or contacting immigration, how the best way of doing it. I do have a video about that that will definitely help you. Because again, I can answer questions all day long for most things, but so can the damn government. Sorry. So can the government, right? That's their job. Their job is to provide information, relevant information about a process that they have control over, right? So don't forget that you can reach out to the government with a lot of these sorts of questions. There might not be as nice as I am to deal with, but if there's a relevant question, you certainly can try them too. Okay. Okay. So let me go back over here to our friends on Instagram. Tons of people. Thank you for joining us from Instagram. Let me see. Um, do do do. Again, I got people joining from New York. Um, That's the only one I see from the United States. We have people from all over the planet, but people joining us currently, I see New York on here. So let me know where you're joining us from, okay? And then I don't want to forget about it. What time is it? Okay, I got a little bit of time. Maybe now's a good time for me to do it since I'm thinking of it. I want to let you guys know about a webinar that I'm going to be putting on. Okay, 1 second. And it's right here. Aha. Okay. So there is the webinar, information for the webinar. Fiance and spouse green card process. Okay. So I'm going to be doing that webinar October 23rd, lunchtime, 12:30 in Eastern Standard Time. So there's ways to let us know that you want to participate in that. And I'm going to post that. Okay. Where is it? Right here. I'm going to post that link right there. Okay. I'm going to post it over here too. So if you want to check out that link, you can actually register for the webinar. If you have any ambitions of getting your fiance here in the United States or your spouse, this is absolutely for you to check out, to ask questions, and to actually get my webinar about what's to come. Okay. So check that out. You can also go on our website, which I'll get that here. If you have more questions, you can always check out this link here, which is booking a time to talk to me directly. So if a webinar is not good enough for you, you can always contact me directly and ask your questions to me. Okay. So I have a lot of people who come onto this show every Monday, and their questions are a little bit more sophisticated than what the half-hour free session will give you. So that's why I like to post the link to book a consultation. Okay. So that information is there. And again, the fiancé and spouse green card webinar, October 23rd. Okay. So check us out. Let's see here. 1 second here, folks. So, okay, I'm back. So that picture of me was from a few years ago. Time flies when you're having fun. And you'll see that I look slightly different than how I looked in that picture. But that was a real picture of me and my beloved wife when we were going through our own immigration process. Okay. Let's see here. I'm being told click on the okay, 1 second, folks. Let's see. Okay. Again, the links I already posted, but don't forget that there's the phone number and our web address, which is at the bottom of your screen right now. If you need to talk to us, book a time, whatever, there's the phone number. Okay. So let me go back over here. Okay. Hola, tia, ¿cómo estás? Okay. Let's see. I'm going down here. Okay. So here's a question. Should my wife sponsor me for my asylum case or marriage case for a green card? When I came to America, I was inspected. So here's the deal. No one can sponsor another individual for asylum. Only the individual who's fleeing their country of origin and is scared to death to return can move forward with asylum. So you don't need a sponsor for asylum, okay? You do for the green card, of course. So if you're married, if you're in the United States and you're married and your spouse is a U.S. citizen, there is no wait for your ability to move forward. If your sponsor or spouse is a legal permanent resident, there is a waiting period. So depending on when you file that I-130, there might be a wait time, okay? You might need to click the link that I put earlier to schedule a consultation so we can talk about this. It seems like there's more, there's always more to the story, but it seems like you would benefit from having a consultation with me. So click on that link and we can figure this out for you, okay? Let's see, 1 second here. So I just became an American citizen. Congratulations, Sonia. That is wonderful, amazing, excellent. Congratulations. I have 2 minor children that live in the U.S. with me. Can I apply for their U.S. passport first or apply for certificate of citizenship for them first? Okay, this is a very good question, and a lot of people get confused about this, so I'm glad you asked this, Sonia. You're a U.S. citizen. The big question is, what are your children? Are they legal permanent residents, or do they just enter based on some sort of visa? Okay. And again, this question may have been answered a little while ago, so I'm not going to get any new information before I try to answer the question. The reason I ask that is because your children, everybody has to be a legal permanent resident before they can become a citizen, even minor children of a U.S. citizen. So derivative citizenship still requires your children to be legal permanent residents. So if they're legal permanent residents, okay, then you would have to file for the certificate of citizenship for those children. If they are not legal residents, you have to petition for them to become legal permanent residents, okay? Okay, so let me go down here a little bit. Here's the question. My spouse is a petitioner in an asylum case. if I divorce him, do I lose my, I don't know what a WA is, and social security number, maybe work authorization. Oh, okay, yeah. And social security number. And if yes, how much time would this take? So if you and your spouse are jointly involved in an asylum case, it is technically possible to end the relationship and both of you still be able to move forward with your asylum case. It's very technical, okay? It's not easy to figure out. The government changed this process about, I don't know, 4 years ago. I don't know if they still do it the way they did 4 years ago. I think they probably do, but it's not a simple thing. You basically have to file a special request with a special office in a special part of the country, which I don't know. So much has changed under Biden, okay? Biden has changed so much. It's crazy. I don't know if this office still exists, but it's not as easy as you might think, but it is possible. So if you have questions, you can book a time to talk to me and I can help you figure it out. Okay. Let me go back here. I'm a legal permanent resident and I applied for my wife 26 months ago. It's not approved yet. She got a visitor visa and came here, legally entered the United States. Can I apply for her 485, the I-131, and in a work permit? How many months does it take? Okay, it's a lot of questions there. If you applied the I-130 process for your wife 26 months ago, okay, my big question for this individual is, was that I-130 approved? Okay, because there's a very big difference between getting an I-130 approved and being able to file the 485. The thing is, most of the time, and again, this is unfortunately the consequence, the reality of the world, which is people try to do things themselves to save time, money, and just because they don't know that it's 1,000 times more difficult than they really realize. So what I'm seeing here is if you did not file the I-130 at the same time as the 485, you might not be able to do it. It's a lot more complicated when you don't do it at the same time when you're supposed to. There's so many different questions I have based on this that there's no way for me to really answer this question adequately without talking to you. So the individual who wrote this question, I'll to go, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. You know who you are. You really need to book a time to talk to me, okay? Because there's a ton that can go sideways on this if it's not done the right way. So click that link, book a time. Again, the phone number is at the bottom of the screen, the email. If you need to book a time, please do it. It's going to be worth your effort, okay? I got a friend joining us from Kentucky, so thank you, Roland, for joining us from Kentucky. Okay, this question. What is the best way to file an I-765? By mail or online? What is the expected timeline to get a work permit? So I'm old school. I don't touch the online filing stuff because honestly, ever since they unveiled it, it's been a kind of a catastrophe. And I don't trust the government enough to try to waste my time doing it online. So I do it paper filing. Okay. I do it with direct filing with the government. I don't do it online. So you can toy with it yourself if you want to try to do it online. I don't do that until the government has earned my trust. I'm not going to do it because so many problems, people get denied, and it's kind of a mess. So I do the way I've done it for years, and it works every time. Okay. Okay. How long does it take to get a green card after marriage? Again, that's a whole series of videos that I've done on my YouTube channel. So that's Lobster City 1. So check out my YouTube channel and do that search because every month do videos about how long it takes to process these things. Check it out. It's free. I do want to do a shout out to our friend Mark, Mr. M. Sorry, Mark, if I gave away your name. Mr. M, Costa Rica. And I'm being told that we are absolutely ready to get started with you. Actually, my wife, who you know, and she has very much enjoyed talking to you. She says it's time to do it, so you need to do it. That's not me saying it; that's her saying it. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. I had my interview in 2021, and I'm still waiting for any update. That's weird. So again, this is I don't know what process, sir, you have since 2021. That's a long time. So we may need to talk more because it's impossible for me to say without more information. Okay. Um, okay. This is a really good question from Lobster City One. Is it possible to return to your home country after political asylum? The answer is yes, but it's delicate. Okay. You got to be careful when. It's always a question of when with immigration. If you do it too soon, if you do it while you're still involved in the immigration court process, it will absolutely destroy your future. You will be denied and you will be deported. So it is possible to do, but I would be very careful when you do it because if the government thinks that you lied to them to get asylum, all kinds of bad. So be darn careful. I've had clients go back several years after they get their asylum, and usually that's not a problem. But if the ink is still wet on your approval, don't risk it, man, because that's fraud, basically. So you don't want to be accused of committing fraud, okay? Let's see here. Pennsylvania. Hello, our friend from Pennsylvania. I love Pennsylvania. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go back here and see what questions I have in my other session. Oh yeah, here's our friend. Okay. Okay, so Mr. M, you're from Costa Rica, not Nashville. So in the past, you were joining us from Nashville, but you're actually from Costa Rica. That's excellent. So you're going back tomorrow. So I wish you a very nice trip. So I haven't been to Costa Rica yet. I've been to a number of countries, but I wish you the best travel. Okay. Let's see. Joselito, our friend from the Philippines. Thank you for joining us, Joselito. What is the status of the F1 category? Okay. I should have had this ready and queued up for you, Joselito. I will get it up for you right now. Okay, one second. And I hope this doesn't take too much time. We're talking the F1 category. I'm looking this up. I'm trying to go quickly. Processing times. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. I'm supposed to be looking up the visa bulletin. Visa bulletin. Okay. Visa bulletin for October 2024. The F1 category in the Philippines, F1. Philippines, it hasn't changed, Joselito, since we talked last week. It's still the 1st of March of 2012. Okay, and I forget when you said that your priority date was, but that's your processing time at this point in time. So, okay, Mr. M, you live in both. Awesome. That's pretty cool, man. My wife wants me to apply for dual citizenship. So, Mr. M, Mark, dual citizenship for you or for her? I guess probably for you, right? Because you're the one who's um, got a toehold in both countries, the United States and Costa Rica. The beauty of the United States of America, one of the many things, is that we don't discriminate as far as dual citizenship. Okay. So for you, you absolutely can apply for citizenship to the United States and you will be able to retain your Costa Rican citizenship. I say that not knowing whether Costa Rica is cool with that. I believe they are. There are countries out there that don't allow it. It's not the United States that doesn't allow it. It's potentially your country. So you have to do the search yourself because I don't know Costa Rican laws. So just do a search um, with Costa Rica and see if they recognize dual citizenship. I think they do. Okay. Very few countries do not. I think the Netherlands, China, um, who else does not? India does not recognize it. So there are countries that do not. So you might have to do a little bit of research yourself on your country. The United States, we're all good, man. We embrace you, and we don't have a problem with it. Okay. Um, so it looks like I'm pretty much out of time, and I do want to post that lovely picture of my wife and myself to again let everyone know that I am doing this webinar on October 23rd. Can you see it? I hope you can. October 23rd at 12:30 p.m. I will say that you can check that out. I posted up in the comments. I put a link where you could actually check it out. If you wanted to be a part of that, you can always call us. There's a number at the bottom of the screen. You can call us. You can book that and join us on October 23rd during lunchtime, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. That being said, I think let me do this. I thank everyone for joining me tonight. Man, can you see these controls still? Okay, I want you guys to see me before we leave. So thank you for joining us every week. We have very loyal followers and friends, so thank you for that. Next week, Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. What is the date next Monday? I want to look real quick. That's not today's? So, okay, today's the 14th, so it's the 21st. So we'll see you on the 21st. Please have your questions ready so we can get right at it. And I welcome everyone next Monday. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next Monday.